Illinois Secretary of State is asking the federal government to investigate Kane County after a driver with a previous DUI and heroin possession conviction caused a fatal crash last year.
According to Capital News Illinois, Alexi Janulius wants the U.S. Department of Transportation to look into whether the county's prosecutor and others were involved in masking, a process that keeps a DUI conviction from showing up on a commercial driver's record. The request stems from the fatal crash that killed DeKalb County Sheriff's Deputy Christina Mussel earlier this year. Nathan Sweeney is accused of causing the crash.
Back in 2020, Sweeney pled guilty to DUI and drug charges, but the Secretary of State's office said it never got the notice of conviction, which would have resulted in Sweeney's license being revoked. The Kane County State's attorney claims a plea secured a conviction on the more serious felony drug possession case, but Sweeney was involved in other crashes after the plea, including the one that killed Mussel.